Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us as we do life together one day at a time. Hello, everybody. I just wanted to give y'all a little tutorial, I guess you can say, on how to check to see if your eggs are bad. The reason I'm checking today is because we have an abundance of eggs. I got sick. My husband was sick before me. I had colitis real bad. He had a type of virus, so the eggs kind of built up on us and stuff, and I want to give the eggs to my friends and family, but I just don't want to do that if they're not good. So we're going to test them. I don't know if you can tell, but I did put some water in the side of the sink, and I do have a little rack over here to put them after we check. These are one that kind of broke when got cracked whenever I was trying to check through the eggs and put them all more in one basket. So these got cracked. So what we do with the cracked eggs is we cook them and we give them to the critters, so there's no waste there. And the shells you can crumble up, bake in your oven, or set them out in the sun and let them dry up, and it's extra calcium for your critters. So the way we test these eggs, we set them in the water and we see if they float, if the end comes end on end like this. If the end stands up, then that means they're no good, because they develop a little pocket in the end too that causes gas to build up and all because it's rotten. So far, so good. None of these has come tail up on me. So I have not washed these eggs, because when you wash them, eggs have teeny tiny little microscopic pores that we do not see. So when you wash it, it allows bacteria to get inside those little pores. I'm not really trying to wash the egg today. If it's got a little stuff on it, I might just, take my finger like I am now and rinse it off a little bit. Some people might say gross, but you can wash them before you eat them, and you can wash them before you store them in the fridge, because the refrigerator will buy you a little time, so they keep a little longer in the fridge. But you do not have to refrigerate eggs at all, as long as you don't get a monstrous amount of eggs, guys, that you got to worry about, oh no, we got so many eggs, which one's good, which ones are bad. So far all these are good. None of them are even trying to float up, which is a great thing. So I'll just take a little towel and wash off the egg. We're not trying to scrub it or anything like that to allow the bacteria to get in the pores. We're just soaking them in the sink to make sure that they are not bad. So I'm almost hoping one will float so I can show you what I'm talking about. This one kind of went down in the drain, and it looked like it went end on end, but it's kind of rocking back and forth a little bit, like the end of it is wanting to raise up a little, but it's not doing that. But for safety reason, just because I seen the tail end come up a little, I just put it over here and cook it for the critters. That way we don't take any chance. But if it's rotten, and I know it's rotten because it floats straight up and down like this, I just remove them all together. I would not feed that to my critters. So we're just going to continue to check to see. This one's kind of floating up a little bit on the end, and it's not because it's rolling toward the center, because all these are at the center and they're not floating up. So this one's rocking a little end on end. It wants to come up, so I'm just going to separate that one and put it aside for the critters, just to make sure. Okay. These are duck eggs. We only have 2 female ducks, but we do pick up their eggs. We not letting them hatch out right now, because we do have a pig laying in there with her, and which is Penelope, and we're not going to take the chance in them feeling like they can't lay and are being invaded by a pig. So we'll just do it when it's a better situation for them to lay in. Right now the hatching situation is not the best, or the lay-in situation is not the best for broody ducks. So we're going to go ahead and continue our process, and let's see if we have any that are floaters. I don't know why I didn't do it today. I usually put something in the bottom, not a sponge, but a rag or something. We'll just take that out. I usually put that in the bottom so that they don't float so much, guys. So we'll go ahead and just put this rag or dish towel, or however you want to call it, in the bottom of the sink, which it'll show either way. It actually show better on this if the ends are floating up, because now it has a more solid surface, not so much going toward the center of the sink and falling in the hole. So gravity's not pulling it down toward that hole. So far, I see one that is actually standing up end on end, which is this one right here. This is a oddball egg. New mom, I don't know if you can see that. New mom, the egg is actually kind of paper thin. Right there, I just barely touched it with my finger and it cracked. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's oddly shaped. It's got a bunch of disfiguration in it. We're just going to put that one aside for the critters as well. What I want to show you is this one right here. The end, these are laying nice and flat. This one I can put down, and it, when you move it around any, the end is trying to pop up, which that should not happen. So it was standing up real good. So see how they fall back down when you stand them up end on end? That one was actually standing up. Now it's wanting to make a jokester out of me. But to err on the side of caution, I'm going to set it aside. Doesn't hurt my feelings to give my critters some extra protein, guys. They all need it. They all love it. So the ones that we know that are good, we're going to place in here. If you don't have something like this, we do have a towel in the bottom of the sink because we do have a lot of eggs to check. So we do have a towel in the sink, so you can just lay a towel in the bottom of your sink, which is a little more safe for them to keep them from cracking. So all these look good. If it floats a little and I question it, I do not give it away. I just give it to the animals. So I'm not going to take chances on poisoning people. So we're going to get rid of them. I mean, they'll know right away they cracked that egg and it's rotten. It's quite evident. So I like to tell people, crack them individually in a separate container so that you don't take a chance on, excuse me, the camera kind of fell there. I gotta readjust it, guys. So you do not take a chance on getting somebody sick or something like that. You don't take a chance on your animals getting sick. So this is the best way to do it, to just double check before you give them away. But like I was saying, if you put them, see that one there? That is bad. We don't even give that to our animals. See how that one's completely floating? Bad egg. Literal bad egg. So we set that to the side. We will not in no way, shape, or form use that. So I lost my train of thought there for a minute, guys. I'm getting too many. I'm gonna go ahead and separate that. I see another one or a few of them that are kind of trying. We don't want to over put too many eggs down here because then they start kind of supporting each other and holding each other down a little. So we don't want to do that. So I'm going to just pull a few back. I got to talking and messed up. I see one back here that is more on the shady, shifty side that's trying to stand up, and another one there. So us getting sick was a good opportunity to teach y'all about looking for eggs that are not good. So I have a few of them that are questionable, that are kind of standing up end on end. We're going to go ahead and put them over here. This one I don't trust at all because it's standing straight up. So that one's a bad one. This one is a bad one. This one is real close to being bad, so we'll pull it. That one is standing up end on end. We're going to pull it. So what this tells me, guys, is this is the oldest batch of eggs, because we picked up so many in the last few weeks, and I don't want to take no chances. So I know what I was saying a while ago. Back to my train of thought. We're going to, like I tell my friends and stuff, and I suggest you do the same if you start getting a good egg production. And you can mark down, you can have little baskets, how long you've had them, all this stuff, but nothing's foolproof. So tell your friends to individually crack them in a little small container, and like if they're cooking more than one egg at a time, or even if they're cooking one, put that egg, crack that egg in a separate container, and we'll put that one over here. Check it to make sure that it's not bad before you start cracking a bunch of them and putting them together. So this one here is starting to stand up end on end. We're just going to get rid of that one. I don't want to take any chances with that. So even if it's one egg, guys, like I said, crack it in a separate container and make sure it's good if you question the age of it, so that it doesn't get in your skillet, and your skillet you have to wash and all that stuff before cooking. This one is almost standing end on end, so we're going to do away with that one. That one is very questionable, and this one's very questionable. We'll save it and individually crack it before I even give it to the dogs, and make sure that they're good. And you don't want to start cracking a bunch of eggs in a bowl, getting ready to make yourself a bunch of scrambled eggs, and one of them be bad in the batch, and then you ruined 5 or 6 eggs, maybe more. So best thing to do is check your eggs beforehand to make sure this one's standing end on end. We're getting rid of that one. All right, and what I mean, guys, by checking, hold on. I keep these little Jello, containers to check. So let's do one of these, for instance. I'm not going to crack any of the ones that I know are bad because I don't want to smell up the house. But we're going to crack it and check it, smell it before I even feed it to my dogs, okay? And that's what I mean by putting it in something individual before you add it to a whole thing by itself. We'll set that to the side. We've only got a few more eggs, guys, that we have to test. So this one's a definite no-no, standing end on end. This one's a definite no-no. So we're going to go ahead and just put all our little eggs back in this basket. This one's standing end on end. We're not going to even play with that one. That one's close. We're going to get rid of it. And the great thing about these is we live in the woods. So one thing you can do is you can throw them out in the woods, and different critters that like rotten eggs will come and find them and eat them. So not all lost because something is getting a meal out of it. Or you could bury them in your garden, because they make a great addition of protein and calcium and stuff like that to your garden. So just put them in your garden, bury them in there. And if you plant a new plant, a house plant even, just bury the egg inside at the bottom, and it'll eventually break down and go back to the soil. So guys, thank y'all for watching this little tip today. We are so happy that y'all joined us. We ask that y'all hit the thumbs up button, which means you like the video, and hit subscribe. The thumbs up button nor the subscribe button, either one of them costs you anything. So just please subscribe and like our videos. It's just saying when you subscribe that you're okay with getting future videos. When we post another video, that it'll notify you that we have posted another video. So we thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a blessed day, and we're out. Watch this, guys. Happy little critters. Let me split them up a little bit. They're all gonna come up one thing. Come on, Kiki.